friend, Roger Christopherson here again with another First Listen review. And this is one band that I am really excited to babble about, and I'm talking about House of Lords and their brand new album, Full Tilt Overdrive. I've been listening to these guys since day one. I was actually a huge fan of Giuffria. That's kind of how I became to know Greg Giuffria. That's right when I started learning how to play guitar and all kinds of stuff. You know, it was like a very keyboard-heavy band. They definitely had some cool guitar stuff going on in that band, and I kind of went back and, you know, learned all about Angel from that point on, and of course everything that came out from that point on, because you know, Giuffria morphed into House of Lords, in case somebody doesn't really know that, and pretty much have continued to change members every album, I think, since then. And of course they kind of unfortunately fell victim to, you know, the early 90s grunge, you know, crushed everything. That's kind of right when they were just becoming like really starting to get really popular. They were just right on the verge of breaking, and that's when everything happened and kind of things fell apart. Greg Giuffria quit the band, and you know, kind of James Christian took over at that point. And you know, even though Greg came back and made some guest appearances, a couple albums after, it was After Sahara, I think was the last one he was like fully involved in. I may be wrong on that, correct me if I'm wrong, but, and then there was a couple, you know, albums after that that he just kind of guested on. And since then, they've had Jimmy Bell on guitar since World Upside Down, and now they have on keyboards, they've got Mark Mangold, and they got a new drummer, Johan Kohlberg on drums. Like I said, they change members all the time. You would not believe how many people have been in this band. Really phenomenal. Ken Mary was actually in the band for a while. Tommy Aldrich played drums for a while. So, I mean, they've had a lot of drummers and just a lot of members all together. So it's cool to see that they've had, you know, same guitarist for a while, but it's pretty much James Christian and his project at this point. Has been for quite a while. I mean, they changed sounds quite a bit. I mean, they were like really keyboard heavy band. I was Greg Giuffria, for goodness sakes. And then right around Cartesian Dreams or Big Money or like that time frame, they started getting more like just melodic rock, like harder edge rock, and kind of stayed with that for quite a while. Maybe Precious Metal was a little bit softer, but pretty much they've been a hard rock AOR melodic rock band since then. Not that this one's a whole lot different, but it's definitely the heaviest thing I think they've ever done, quite honestly. I mean, it just kicks in with the song Crowded Room, Bad Karma. Those two songs just kick it in. Powerful, really cool heavy rock. Really identifiable. I mean, James Christian's voice is very identifiable. He's doing all the production. I think he's done production on several of these now. They joined up with Frontiers Records a while back, and well, thankfully he's been producing, because it keeps them from sounding like every other band on Frontiers Records. I think he's done actually a pretty good job. I know he produced his wife there. Was it Robin Beck? I believe that's who he's married to. Did a lot of producing and writing and some stuff with her. I don't think I have all the information for this album though, because I'll tell you why in a minute, because I don't know who's playing bass on this album, and so I don't think I got quite all the information I was supposed to get on this one. But anyway, some of the highlights on here, the title track I thought was really cool. It's got a different, interesting riff that I really haven't heard them play in that style before. They get a little bit, you know, they don't really get too mellow at all on here until like a little bit later on, but they do have a little acoustic number in the middle for Taking the Fall, and it gets like kind of rocking. It's not mellow at all. It kind of starts out, you know, with the acoustic, but it kicks in really quick, and that was a pretty cool song too. My favorite one on here, however, doesn't kick in until like track 7, and then things really start heating up. Really, for me, Not the Enemy. That song, it had a more modern sound, like as far as the writing goes, but the breakdown in the middle of it, I don't want to say it's progressive, but it had a touch of that going on, and just really cool drum breakdown, and it just kicked into a great solo. The guitar playing on this album, actually overall, quite honestly, is really good. The keyboards are there, but they're really laid back in the mix until this song. They start to take the forefront and does a like really cool, interesting little melodic thing in there. So I really enjoyed that song. And then it's funny because that song was just like full on energy, and then it goes to like the closest thing they have to a ballad on here, Don't Want to Say Goodbye, which I actually really enjoyed that song. I don't usually like the slower ones as my favorite, but this one's right up there. And then Still Believe in State of Emergency, go right back into that hard rocking thing like we were talking about, how the album kicked in. And then it ends with a really, I didn't realize how, progressive this got, as far as House of Lords gets anyway, until Castles High, and that song just kept building and building and building. That song, it was really long. It was like 8-9 minutes long, actually, the last track, but really good song. And then there was some female vocals going on. That's the other thing. I don't see who was singing on that. I just wonder if it was Robin. It didn't sound like her, but who knows. But anyway, and it ended really cool. But the one thing I did notice on that song most of all was some really interesting, and I say interesting because I think he was trying to cover up some vocal stuff, because when he tends to go higher nowadays, he seems to be a little bit more in the falsetto-y vibe, and I heard a lot of processing on that song. Don't know if that was just meant to be effect or if he was just trying to like cover up something with his vocals. Don't know, but I didn't really notice it a whole lot until that song. And there's always some pride. This is normal nowadays. Everybody uses auto-tune of some sort, Melodyne, whatever. They all fix everything, which there was a lot of processing going on in this album as a whole, but I really noticed it on that one. That's just kind of become the norm, which is kind of sad because I really like hearing people sing. I like the humanness of people's voices. And so one thing I always liked about James Christian is he had a cool sounding voice and he could sing. He didn't have to like use all these effects and stuff. The dude could sing. So hearing him do that, it's kind of a little bit disheartening. So I don't know if that's just because age factor coming in or the voice is just more, I don't know. I'm just assuming, but that's when I noticed it. Other than that, really enjoyed this album. It's definitely going to be one that's going to be staying in my player for a little bit. And yeah, if they keep releasing stuff like this, I'm game. Didn't even realize that was a pun with the full Tilt Overdrive thing, but I am. Dad jokes come out of me, so that's just what happens. Anyway, as always, feel free to share your comments if you've heard this. What do you think? What do you think about the whole deal with just House of Lords being a James Christian solo project at this point, even though he has released some solo albums too? I don't know. Still like it. You know what you're going to get. This keeps getting a little bit heavier though with each album, and I wouldn't mind it. I like it, but I wouldn't mind hearing a little bit more of a mix maybe. Get Greg back for a guest appearance every now and then too. What the heck, come on. But anyway, that's my little 2 cents. And as always, like, share, and subscribe to keep this music alive because I'm digging it. And until next time, we'll see you.